Once again, officially welcome out and Happy New Year to you. So we are working on, boom, yes, Unicorn Perfect Ability. We're actually getting really close, as a matter of fact. We have the legs left, and I have actually decided to do this Beam Javelin as well in the unfolded form. Got a special black paint that I still have made from another suit, and that's what I wanted to go with for its color. And then we're going to give it the rest of that like greenish color that we've been going with for the whole thing. So we're going to probably work on that first thing off tonight. Put some of these pieces aside. We work on another unit, some repairs, and we're going to do the weapon, but we're also going to focus on getting the pieces ready to go for the front of the waistskirt, as well as all the psycho frames for the waistskirt, and maybe some of the legs too as well. We'll see. See how far we get on tonight. So let's kick on some music. Let's put the work mode into play here. And take a trip and, just chill with me this evening as we build some GunPla. There's actually apparently a piece that I'm not seeing. Or a runner that I'm not seeing specifically. It's listed as A12. Oh, look at that. The bottom half of this, the top half of this runner is A1. And the bottom half is A2. Pretty interesting. I don't know why they just don't call the whole thing A1. But hey, who are we, Bandai? I, as of recently, also just finished watching the Demon Slayer anime and got caught up a little bit on it, considering I was definitely behind the Mugen Train arc, and then, of course, what's come out since then. But do I have to say, man, that was such a good show. I'm usually, weirdly enough, I love my Gundam, but I'm not usually a big fan of anime. I like things that are a little bit older when it comes to it, so Rurouni Kenshin, Fist of the North Star, Tenchu, Berserker. I said Tenchu, wow. Yu Yu Hakusho. Yu Yu Hakusho seasons 1 through 3.5. Like, I guess we're close to the end there, if you ask me, but anyway, so I'm a fan of those, and so it's very hard for me to get into like some of these newer animes. It's because they're not, how to say, I don't know. I want to say they're not nearly as Japanesey. Um, and so Demon Slayer was exactly that for me, though. Really, if you're learning Japanese, that it's a great show to watch, as they use some great Japanese in that show in general. And it's not too hard to understand. Well, if you know the Japanese language, they speak in a very good way for you to learn Japanese, and I appreciate that. I appreciate the little bit of politeness and older style that they have going on there. It's a fantastic way to go about it. So, if you haven't seen Demon Slayer, it's definitely one worth checking out. But I had to do that to get my free Crunchyroll subscription going on because Demon Slayer, at least the newer episodes, are not up on other services, specifically love to talk about that with you guys sometimes. It's if you have seen it, there was some stuff that I've just been dying to talk to somebody about. But I don't know anybody else in my direct line that has seen it as well, so. It's feel like forever since we've actually done some Gunpla and Chill. I haven't done anything on Sundays for some time. I'm sure you guys are like me. It was so close to the holiday and hanging out with family and friends a little bit there. And then, sadly, even worse yet. But this is why we have this though as well. But Corona's been up on the rise in some areas. So do stay safe. Do stay healthy as well. Whatever that means and looks like for you. Hmm. So there's 2 javelins? Don't know. I guess you could put the javelin beam side on either side of it. Definitely do some sanding down. Some of these nubs are really kind of gross if you ask me. So this looks together. That's actually not too shabby. Surprised it didn't make this one piece in the first place. But it goes on this. Trying to see if we need to do any seam repair as well. So far, it kind of looks like it's naturally supposed to be like that. It doesn't look like out of the ordinary. I don't want to say it's like a panel line per se, but it's not bad with what it's got going on there. Probably just gonna sand it down, especially like right there in the nub marks. The nub marks there. But I think we're gonna leave it because that's a pretty big separation between the two pieces of plastic versus like a, once again, a seam, like where it's supposed to be mended together perfectly. But this one right here definitely looks like it's gonna need some seam repair. Yep. Just like we thought. That's gonna be actually some really tough sanding. I don't know if we'll be able to get our sanding stuff in there. Get that. Get that. That's where it gets up. Maybe. A little bit doable there. Doable there. This is going to require some real precision. But this is actually, so once again, what's really nice about this one is it's got that little angled edge here. So you can use that to go like this. And go like this. Yeah, well, we got to do it anyway, so let's go to work on it. We're just going to do it actually pretty much. It's actually a pretty big weapon head on it. But we're just gonna give it straight, brushing right down the whole thing here. If you got any games on Steam or Epic, I'd love to hear about what you got over this past holiday sale. I myself picked up a game called Kenna, which I was very interested in. Use that. I mean, what was it? It was like $10 off in the first place, and then had the $10 coupon, so it made it once again little pretty reasonable there. So I got it for 20 bucks. And so I'm excited to play that out on PC, see what it looks like, see what it plays like. Alright, so we got that finished up. Kinda not fully understanding how this fits into play here. So we definitely attach this on first. Oh, I see. Oh, actually quite menacing. Look at that. It's like, that's a pretty sweet axe now. And it's got a full javelin effect. Well, it's called a javelin. I don't know why. But you put that on there. That looks menacing. For sure. And then there's just, this one goes on the opposite side here. I understand why this would look like a javelin. It is quite a large weapon. In general. So we're gonna actually give this blue though, like that, a green coat right over it. Hey, hey, what's up, Build Pills? Good to see you. Happy New Year. So we're gonna take this apart a little bit. Give this just a little bit of sanding. Get our camera over just a little bit more. Definitely think it's officially time. Considering this is a 220 grit and we're barely having anything come off, it feels like it's time to swap these out. And it's just this 120 still just scares me so much. You can feel how super coarse it is. And it does a good job, there's no doubt about that, but I'm always afraid of scraping off too much with it, which is why I've actually, even since I've had it, barely used it. In relation to my other grits, of course. I'm blowing at when I got my brush right here for it. It's a Crayola toothbrush. Best thing I do, wait until the kids are finished with their toothbrushes and then just accommodate them for myself and make them for scrubbing down Gundam parts. Recycling at its finest, right? Hey, if they wanted to use those toothbrushes again, well, it's too bad. I've already bought them new ones at this point. And plus the bristles have gotten like so bad. So like this is not good for anybody's teeth anymore. Too fanned out. I'm excited to paint this that black. It's the same black that I used to make for Aegis's guns over here behind me, and they are actually it's a really nice like black with a hint of blue in there as well. So it looks really good, which is why I was like, hey, I've got a little bit left over here. I got nothing for it right now. It'd be perfect for this. And so that's how that's really what helped me like put me over the fence for this. And so I'm gonna put in its left hand specifically. Its right hand is I don't like the close-up version of the what is it called? I think it's called a beam whip. Um, so his right-handed weapon goes over his right hand completely. So I didn't like the other version of it. They didn't make a good design for it in this high-grade version. So I left it as that. But I was like, I got a really nice color for this beam javelin. So we're gonna make the beam javelin that blackish color that we've got. And then it should look really solid there afterwards. Welcome on in, who else joined this evening. Hopefully you're having a happy new year. My neighborhood itself is like so crazy with fireworks this past 2 years that we lived here. Our past 2 New Years that we've been here. That they have just like we have no need to like go to anywhere or on top of that buy fireworks ourselves because there's literally just that many. And trust me, we get like enough in our yard that we have to clean up afterwards. So, but needless to say, we had a pretty good fireworks show just down the street from our house. Some members of my family are just a little bit too scared of fireworks actually to want to do them in our neighborhood. But I grew up with fireworks. We did them for like everything. We even owned like fireworks stands in Mississippi. So I mean, that's actually if you want to do a side business, guys, there's the one. Fireworks sell for I mean, you pay pennies for them, and they sell for so much more than what they're worth. They're literally like dirt cheap. I kid you not, when we'd buy them in mass from our distributor. Like we're buying the boxes that we would have like 700 bottle rockets in for like $10. And yeah, we spend like $3 a pack or sell them for $3 a pack. I think they're even more than that nowadays, but if fireworks aren't illegal in your state, I know they're illegal in a lot of places due to, droughts, forest, things of that sort. Thing here down in the south, we've got a lot of not those things. We have forest, yes, but they're also so wet that you'd be lucky if you can get a forest fire to even happen over here. I don't wish that upon anybody, but in all honesty, it's very, very difficult. It's even difficult just to go camping sometimes and make a fire just because of how wet the vegetation gets and the ground gets. I felt like ever since I got back to the south that I'm like terrible at making fires for either cooking or for just camping. It just seems like I suck at it now, but I'm like, it's not just me. This wood, even though I've been having it off the ground for like days, it's still just so humid in the air that it's tough to get the wood to catch. But you know, good old-fashioned accelerants that makes that happen. But I wouldn't be a responsible person if I didn't say, hey, keep fire safe. I feel like this lo-fi is a little bit too jazzy tonight. I don't know how you guys feel about it, but I feel like it's too jazzy. So let's spice it up a little bit here. I don't know if you guys are a fan of jazz or not, but it was just a little bit too jazzy for me tonight. I'm just dying if there's like, if anybody knows like a free, royalty-free J-pop location for music, toss it my way, because that would be the ice on the cake for me. I'm all about having some J-pop here while I'm working on my Gundams. That to me is the music of choice. This is better. That is really, once again, a pretty cool axe. I kind of want to just leave maybe even just the axe piece. It's kind of weird though with its handle. Its handle, like, it holds right here, and then the other hand goes here on this. So, man, it's just so close. Maybe if we flip it upside down for the wielder. No, it says to go like this, so that's how it holds. But we're gonna put it in that claw hand specifically, maybe even just going across the body. Yeah, the beak, spike up like such. That'll be our weapon. This has got to dry. I'm gonna let it go overnight before we start sanding that down. But it's definitely good enough so we can actually kind of once again put it together. It's just that's actually once again it's quite massive. Feels very unwieldy. Very unwieldy. Alright, so we got our weapon done. This is our final weapon that we want to do too. We've got all the other ones built, all the shields, all the claw hand, the beam whip, all those are done. So, what is left then? Well, our Gundam is still very legless. So that's what we're gonna go with. I'm gonna finish up the skirt first. Especially because there's a lot of different, excuse me, with the skirt there's a lot of different painting that's needing to be done for it. So we're going to tackle that first. Know my parts, so I'm just gonna go straight at it. This is once again only the 5th unicorn I've built. 2 more to go. I have the real grade perfectibility as well as the high grade just normal unicorn destroy mode. Which I'm kind of excited because I've done like all the other colors. I've got of course I got the Banshee, got the Phoenix, got this perfectibility, but we're doing it the true Psycho Frame colors. Maybe that's what I'm calling it. Don't know if that's the exact name, but true Psycho Frame colors. And then last but not least, got the a custom version of a Xeon form of the Phoenix. His Xeon form has like a very metallic-y psycho frame, so unlit up, which is kind of like the idea behind the lore there. Like, unless you're new typing with it, it wouldn't light up a specific color. So it's just mainly metallic. I think, yeah, I use chrome specifically, so I have it kind of white or super silvery. We've got the metallic greenish blue color. We have a blue and we have a gold. So that means that literally the last one to look at would be red. And thus the reason. Also, guys, hopefully yeah, I know there's that winter storm that just came through, so if you are out in it, please stay, not out in it per se, but if your area being affected by it, please once again for that too, stay safe. Thankful that you're able to join in tonight as well. So, all right, it looks like I actually forgot to paint something. So when it goes into psycho mode, there's these, excuse me, like, I don't know, little cannons that kind of come up. Ah, oh, sorry to hear that, Beard Pills. I hope you're once again over your cold quickly. But there's these cannons that pop up, and with that, they have psycho frame on them too. But I forgot to clip those and paint those, so we're gonna make sure we get those added to our things to do as well tonight. We're getting there though. Look at that. This is all just legs right here. All the legs. This is mostly legs. Oh, Evil Mikey, that's good that it's starting to calm down a bit. So yeah. For here, we just got the cool temperature, so tonight it's supposed to get down to 36, which is pretty chilly for our area. Definitely winter weather. Just to give you an idea, I've already put 4 thrusters on the backpack of the Gundam, and there is still, I just cut out 2 more for the sides, for the rear skirt, and then there's a total of 4 more that are all still going to be used for this kit. It has so many thrusters. It's kind of crazy, actually. So putting that to the side, and we're going to clean up. Oh, Beard Pearls, are you asking me if I'm in the shed? I am not. Just the lighting, it's so dark. It's really, really dark outside tonight. We got full cloud coverage. Very dense clouds at that, too. Yeah. And maybe it's a different chair. I am using a different chair tonight. That camera's angled a little bit different. I've got the Gundam right here in the way of my laptop, so obstructing the view. Oh, the sweater, yeah. I just, actually, glad you mentioned that. First off, this is a Sasasbi sweater. It's from New Type. I got it with their build con that they had a few years back. It's sad that it's been a few years. They haven't been able to do it since. Due to the pandemic, and they're based out of San Francisco, which has been a little bit tougher for the pandemic as well in the United States. So, anyway, definitely love to wear some sort of Gundam apparel for our shows. As well as, I don't like to turn on my heater. I have a furnace base heater, so it stinks really bad. Well, it doesn't stink really bad. It stinks when it gets started up because, of course, it's because of the dust that's got to burn off. So, I like the natural feel, though, so. The natural feel, and it's a Gundam hoodie. What's better than that? And for the person that just joined us, welcome on in tonight. We are working on Unicorn Perfect Ability. Doing some cleanup here. So these are all going to be painted that tealish color per se. This one's going to be particularly hard to paint though, because our Psycho Frame color once again is that tealish blue. However though, there's some white here though too, and it's a very finite amount. It's a very small amount. And so, yeah, it's a very small amount. We're going to have to pull out the stickers for it too to see exactly. And so we might have to go with the painting this all white first, which I'm going to use the Tamiya white to get started with that. And then we will go back over with our silver and then top coat afterwards as well. I have been letting, right now at least in my area, because it's been so humid too, any painting I have to let it at least cure for at least a day or two, even before I can do something more. It's pulling off paint way too easily right now, which I'm not happy about, so. Very, very important. If it is humid in your area, do give it some time to cure before you start messing or working on something else with it. So here's these white strips that fit over on this. So yeah, we're going to paint it white first, let it cure over, and then once it's cured, then we will add these to this area. It's going to cover this top portion right here. It's even got like a little line here to kind of help segregate it. And once we have that all covered up, we will then paint with it. So we're going to actually give these top pieces a little bit of sanding down though, because they are going to be visible. The other nub marks are not. So we just clip them down, get them looking pretty in general. And there we go. Now, if you did want to leave these parts clear, and even after you... Oh, does it really make a difference? Ooh, that is a great question there, Evo Mikey. And if you want, let me see if I got a pretty good example for you. And I think I do. So top coating, you definitely have some options here. You have your flats, you have your mattes. Excuse me, you have your flats and mattes, and then you also have your satin base, and then your glossy. So a glossy coat. Oh, do I have a glossy coat? I do have a glossy coat, and it is a unicorn one as well. So hopefully you will appreciate that. So this gold one I actually did with a glossy coat, and you can see the shine and the reflection off from the from just the overhead light that I've got going on here. So that's what the top coat did for it specifically. Really gives it that nice effect. On the flip side though, this guy, this is a this does not have any top coat whatsoever. Some of the, I mean, it's since it's covered up in paint, it kind of almost doesn't need it, especially because the Mecha series are very satin-based paint in the first place. So you can see shine here, but you can't see shine here though. This is a flat paint, specifically. This is a game color. So all these are flat right now, and that's why they have no shine. So that's a really big difference with it. So you'll have your shine like you see here, and then our flats as well. I do gloss over my eyes specifically, so then that way they have that shine to go with it as well. So if I paint the eyes, I gloss over them, and then of course do my reverse washing there afterwards. And then that one's got a top coat. Looking for something else that doesn't. Ah, here we go. Top coat differences. So this is, the Sanaju Wise has no top coat whatsoever, and almost no painting. The only thing that's painted is like the reds and these grays as well. So you can see we got no shine whatsoever with it, and it's kind of a good matte finish as well. Actually, oh, I take that back. It is top coated now that I feel it. It's matte. That's what I use for it. Except for this. This is a satin based. I don't know. I'm actually questioning whether or not I did, because some of it feels like it. Maybe it's just dust. Gross. But this Sasasbi though specifically, Sasasbi, excuse me, Shinaji. I'm pretty sure I didn't top coat this. I wanted to, but I didn't yet. Yeah, I didn't because there's also panel lining that needs to be done too. You can see right here, there's panel lining. That's not there. So this one is not top coated. So you can see the color absorption from the light. It's just taking it right all away. Versus this GP03. This is a flat top coat. I don't know if you can see very much difference yourself, but in person they're actually quite different in coloring. So once again, no top coat, top coat. But it's definitely, they've really helped to seal some and protect your suits as well. So I highly recommend doing top coats to protect your kits alone, especially from like this painting right here. This is this two-tone painting that we've got going on, because this is actually a metallic and then clear coat on top of it to get that look specifically. As that is the case, top coat would help protect that as well. So please, if you can, top coat. But choose your top coat. Choose your top coat based upon what you want it for. A lot of times with the whites, a matte top coat looks really, really good. And with colors, satin looks better as well. However, though, if you do satin over white, you won't really tell too much difference. There'll be a little bit of shine for it, but it doesn't really stand out. But it definitely really helps to take away the shine. That's the biggest thing, or give it even more shine. So once again, the world is your oyster there. Do what you feel is best for your suit. And do note, if you are going to top coat with like gloss, if you're doing gloss white, make sure you sand it and then sand it some more and then buff it absolutely like crazy. And then if you're also going to gloss coat, you have to make sure everything is super smooth and there's no scratch, no like sanding marks or anything. So you have to really, really, really buff it. So that's why I save my glosses just strictly for the eyes. If the eyes or like a V-fin communicator, like that glass piece that's on the V-fin, if you want that to have that effect, that glassy effect, then yes, gloss all the way. But with it being color, it shows up a lot easier and has a nicer shine as well. So does a really good job with it. Those would be that's why, and I have all three of them as well. If I want a grungy suit, I always go matte in addition to that. My grungy suits, so my Zaku's. Wow, oh yeah, I've got two Zaku's. Actually, I'm gonna lie though, those Zaku's, those are Char Zaku's, and we all know that Char is not grungy. He doesn't get his suits messed up very often. And since he doesn't get his suits messed up, they're clean. So those are both satin coats. And I actually have one more to show you. I have one more that I think is a really, really good example. I forgot about this one. So I got the special gold coating Hyakushiki from 2 years back at the Gundam Expo. And it's extremely shiny. However, though, I put a satin coat over it. So it actually very much changed the appearance of this. And so it's shiny. It was super shiny before, but now it's a little bit toned down, which to me is more realistic of gold metal. So this actually, Hyakushiki is probably one of my favorite suits. I got a Build Fighters version coming up soon where it's going to be half maroon, like this is maroon and this is gold. It's actually really, really awesome. If you want to see what it's going to kind of look like, look up Hyakushiki Stark, and that's the suit. So that's going to be my next Build Fighter suit. It's such a shame, like in the Build Fighter series, they have some good Gunplas that they never made models for. And Hyakushiki Stark was definitely one of them. Tall Geese Valkyrie was another one, and that's why I'm making it now too. From that rebuild that I'm working on. Which, if you're wanting to see an update, I can show you an update. Oh yeah, that's a great way to practice your painting is on a SD suit. Especially because they're so reasonably priced, and if you even just do like a full painting, it's just, I mean, no matter what you do for an SD suit, it always looks better than what it does coming out of the box. I sometimes will actually take SD suits though and steal parts from them though. One of my kit bashes is I stole the Vernier thrusters from from that kit specifically and built them onto my high grade kit. Because once again, I mean, the Gundam was they're super cheap, so that is a great way to practice. And then, of course, save your skills for the ones that you really want to showcase off. Oh, there it is. This is some clean cuts. I can't even tell where. I think there's a nub right there. Oh, I can see the other one though. Oh, look how, I mean, that one's terrible almost. So bad I had to shave it off a little bit first. Didn't want it to tear up my sandpaper even. Alright, there we go. And I've actually, like, this past little bit, I've also been painting a lot of, like, white. Ooh, what's the shop here recommended? Evo Mikey, good question. So, I am not here to advertise for anybody, but if you want to talk about, like, where do you get the cheapest ones as well, great place to buy your Gundams is if you're gonna buy them online. I don't know about your area specifically, but for me, um, I have like one local hobby store that sells Gundams, and that's it. And I try to support them as much as I can so they can keep getting more. And they've actually been doing a really good job um, of selling them. There was one day I walked into the store and I saw 3 customers come in, and all 3 customers walked out with a Gundam. And I was like, that's what makes me happier. Either way, to answer your question though, about what do we get, for my online shops, I go with the 3, and it's really, hey, whoever's got the cheapest at the time for whatever kit I'm looking for. My first go-to though is USAGundamStore.com. They are the closest ones to me, so they're in Florida, and so I get those, like, once they ship them out, it's like 2 or 3 days to get to me. Next after that, Galactic Toys. They have a phenomenal search engine in the first place, and they only show what's available in stock. They never show just, hey, we've had these before, so look around. But yeah, they're a great store because they always just show, hey, here's our real inventory right now, and I appreciate that. And then last but not least, oh, and they're also, excuse me, based out of Michigan, so not too far away, maybe a little bit closer. I think Evo Mikey mentioned to me that they're in California, so they're closer to you than I think. I mean, excuse me, not California, Colorado. So they're a little bit, they're more north, so they might be a little bit closer to you than they are to me. And then last but not least, though, is New Type. New Type is, when I was in Las Vegas, they were definitely my go-to outside of my local store, just because they were so close. They're based out of San Francisco. Um, they also get all the newest stuff, and they do have a really good size inventory too. And they're pretty close to, once again, Colorado there for you as well. So those are my shops that I mainly go with. Amazon is actually very overpriced for Gundams, so I only go to Amazon if it's like for a P Bandai kit, and I've got an Amazon gift card. Like that's both pieces, P Bandai and Amazon gift card. Or even, excuse me, let me amend that a little bit. Older P Bandais and Amazon gift card. So one of my suits that I'm looking to get soon is that Blast Impulse Gundam. I have to get the high grade version, but it is indeed a P Bandai, and so in order for me to get it, um, yeah, well, Evo Mikey, thanks for supporting them. They are a great store. That's where I've gotten most of my Iron Blooded Orphan kits from, because they're the only ones that keep true stock for it. It seems like. But anyway, good question though. Yeah, and actually, USA Gundam Store, they usually give a little bit of discount for most of their kits as well. Like even just like $10 off of like Virtue coming out is actually a pretty big deal. So pre-orders I know are closed for that as well. Now there is one other one, and it's the one that I order from Japan. I only use it for the ones that are coming from Japan, P Bandai's, the ones that are not being released in America. Which, if you haven't pre-ordered a Stray, that's okay. P Bandai in America is now going to be doing the Red Frame Astray as well. So the $10 shipping is very lucrative. But however, though, I already pre-ordered it through Kurama Toys. I know I've talked about them a lot. They're pretty reasonable with their shipping, and they'll get it to you pretty quickly as well with their EMS shipping service. But they also have, once again, they just have some of the Japan exclusives that you just can't get anywhere else. And as that is the case, that's usually sometimes my first go-to for P Bandais, which has bit me in the butt. But I'll give you another example though, like the TriStars that I just got in. You couldn't buy 3 from P Bandai in America, so you had to go through some other source, and so the triple kit came with that, but not in America. They wouldn't let you buy more than 2, and I was like, come on, we want 3. We all want 3 for that one. Yeah, and Evo Mikey, that's the thing, is that with the overpricing of those local businesses, like we kind of still pay that in the shipping unless we're getting like a really big bundle from like Galactic or something, where at that point the shipping is just really, really reasonable for how many kits you're getting. But yeah, that's how they balance it out. They've got to make some money somehow on it, and they actually don't make very much in comparison. Because they don't usually buy them as many as like Galactic Toys and all of them. Like they buy them in pretty big bulk because they sell nationwide versus our smaller places. Because you're absolutely right, they do sell them for a little bit more. So, and that's cool that the owner gives you a discount though. Yeah, if you can always get a Gundam closer to MSRP, you're doing great. You're doing great. Because there definitely have come to like collector item status for some people, and yeah, they can get super, super expensive. But then again, some of your builds, once you're done with them, can become super, super expensive. I don't know if you're ever looking for them to sell them, but I told my wife if I ever die, she can sell my entire Gundam collection. I won't be hurt. Um, and I was like, I kind of quick sell life insurance, but especially because I've got like some collections. I've got like all three of the GPO3 kits. Wow, I say GPO3, but the Gundam 0083 kits. I've got all the I'm gonna have all the different types of unicorns here, so like those small little collections will help out with increasing their value. Silly things though like that. I'm sure you'll be the same way. I've got all the Sinajus, and I even made the custom prototype one, so. And then, last but not least, I've got all 3 Tall Geese real grades. So, all those things will help out. Eventually. And then there's sadly, there's a tons of unbuilt kits. Ugh, I hate it, but I love it at the same time. Yeah, oh yeah, totally. Make them work for that shipping. Because it's only like $10 shipping for whatever, it's standard flat rate. And that's what's nice about all 3 of the ones that I mentioned tonight. New type, if you order anything over $100, they include shipping. So they don't charge you anything extra for shipping over $100. Which I was tempted to get Virtue from them because Virtue would have been free shipping. But I don't know if you've seen it, but I haven't got my Virtue yet. I don't know if any stores in America have gotten them yet. Which is kind of bumming me out because I pre-ordered mine as soon as it was available, and I was expecting it for my Christmas present. Santa did not deliver. Alright, we are almost done with all the skirt parts, getting them all ready and cleaned up. I'm sorry, I just keep noticing that I'm like sanding right underneath myself. Not even letting you see the progress or what we got going on here. Alrighty. That's it. These are all ready to go to, well, the thrusters need to go to the paint, and then these need to go also to the painting area, which, good news is that I've got some clips right here from finishing up some other Gundams. Oh, I totally forgot to clip something out. There's another piece. Another 2 pieces, actually. So we need to go grab those. And I think I'm out. Except for this, I have finally, this is from another GunPla build. This is for my V8, and I have finally taped off every single area that needs to be taped off. Finally. So I'm just catching up on the chat. I apologize for that, even Mikey. Yeah, so if you can try new type, once again, I mean, their stock goes fast, though. That's kind of been the big thing, and they haven't gotten them nearly as quickly as... Galactic Toys and like once again USA Gundam Store have been really on top of getting their stock in, so kudos to them as a matter of fact. Um, but yeah, if you can, I mean, they're awesome to support as well. But I always say, hey, cheapest, closest, those are the big selling points for me. Um, and yes, well, you haven't really okay. That can actually make some sense why you haven't been able to find it. Um, you might want to try Amazon for that one, as a matter of fact, though. Amazon might be a good source to find your real grade, though. It's a pretty good kit. I have to say, though, of all the kits that I've ever built, that real grade kit has the worst hands of any kit ever. It's just they're so bad. Um, and it's because they're trying to get like those bendable fingers thing going on, but they didn't give you any extra like sturdy hands though. So it's I do have one. It's not even up on my shelf because it's not my best build. But and I can't even rebuild it. It's okay, but it's not great. So I've taken it down since then. But it'd be a good one to have. Be a good one to have, that's for sure. So I feel you there. Best of luck in your hunt for that one. We are looking for the other thruster pieces. So these are part of the side armor, and then the back thrusters as well. Good chatting though, everybody tonight. Thank you so much for your questions, and hopefully these have been helpful to you. That's what I'm looking to do is just help out our Gunpla community. So if you know people that are looking for those answers, have them join in. We'd love to have them here. Love to have the discussion. Love to see their builds as well. So like, I haven't even cut out any of the hands for this one yet. I'm gonna actually cut out the left hand though now, because that's what's gonna hold our beam javelin. I've waited until literally the last moment for this, per se. Arms have been fully built across the board for it. Oh, that's terrible to hear about those beam sabers. Okay, okay. Yeah, that should do pretty well. Hopefully that came out well for you. I mean, really my biggest thing that I've noticed recently is that I'm having definitely some issues with the, the humidity in my region has just been so tough on my painting. I'm getting so much more chipping than I'm normally used to, and I'm not liking it at all, as a matter of fact. But yeah, paint is it's just being pulled off very easily by um, my tape right now, and I'll show you some of that on my Tall Geese Valkyrie that I've been working on, which I'm super excited because it's almost done. It doesn't look, it'll look like it, but I just finished painting it's two tones on the Vernier thrusters, and I got one tone taken care of. And then I've also got the head to finish up, which has been quite the chore, as a matter of fact. But it is almost done. And that's because it's my fault. I glued way too much. So. Awesome. That's awesome, awesome, awesome. Yeah, and that master grade version of the GM Sniper 2 is like gold. Like everybody wants one, or it feels like everybody has gotten one too. There is a, if you ever by chance have an opportunity to go to a little place in Las Vegas, if you get to go to Las Vegas, don't go for the casinos. Go for the amazing Gundam store that they have there. Hobby One Japan is a Japanese-owned store. The mother there, even like she only speaks Japanese unless it's cash register talk. She's a great woman though. She's awesome. She does a really good job supporting. And I think it's her son is kind of like the heir for the store in the first place. He's the one that's there every single day after school and stuff to talk with customers and everything. He does a really good job selling them. Anyway, sorry, I am definitely rambling on about him. But Hobby One Japan is literally like a Japanese Gundam store, and it's just absolutely phenomenal. Tons of kits across the board there. The biggest problem is they don't ship. I got a special exception because they saw. I mean, I bought so many kits from them, and they had one that I could not find anywhere else. But if you've ever seen Gundam 00 Trailblazer, Awakening of the Trailblazer, the movie, there is Graham Acres' Brave Commander mobile suit, and I could not find it anywhere. But this store had it. And they also had it for a very good price of just the MSRP of $19. And so I asked them, actually begged them, and I was like, hey, I will gladly pay whatever you want for shipping. I was like, I used to live in Las Vegas and I just moved, but I have to have this kit, and you guys are the only ones that have it. And so they ended up shipping it for me, which I was super grateful. So anytime I go back to Las Vegas, I have to go. I just have to go visit there. They're one of my favorite shops, and it's a small little piece of Japan in America. It's quite great. So, all right, we are definitely all the pieces that we're going to work on tonight are actually cut out, ready to go in one way. This is need to be sanded down, but outside of that, we are ready to paint all this jazz. Which means that we are coming to an end. Yes, Hobby One Japan is in Las Vegas. It's like it's super close to the airport as well. So even if you're there for like a 3-hour layover, you can get to that store and back to the airport in like under an hour. And that's including traffic. That's how close it is to the airport. It's super close. Oh, did I mention that was walking from the airport? So yeah, it's super close to the airport. Yeah, it's fantastic. Um, Great people once again, and they're still in business. I mean, COVID didn't hit them hard. Actually, it was quite the opposite. COVID did kind of good things because people kept coming in and buying Gundams from them. So um, I'm super glad to hear that they're. Yeah, it was a really big shock to me. I was there when they actually first opened up too. So I lived in Las Vegas at least when they first opened up, and then somebody told me I was in a Hobby Town, USA, which if you have one in your area, they usually have the cheapest prices, even below MSRP for Gundams in the States. I don't have one anywhere close, that's why I forgot about it. Um, but they're franchise stores anyway. Um, but yeah, so I was shopping at Hobby Town and picking up some Gundams. They have a pretty good selection, but they also just you couldn't beat their prices. And from there, some guy saw me. He's like, "Hey, are you only getting Gundams?" And this is like a just older guy in general. And he's like, there's a hobby one. He's like, it's Hobby something Japan, and it's like they're south in Vegas from where we were. And he's like, they sell like exclusively like Gundams, and I was like, what? And so I finally made the trip down there, and it was well worth it. So anyway, though, guys, I have kept you definitely past time tonight. It is one past our time here. So thank you so much for yeah, for whatever that means. Beard peels, let's do it. Um, let's help get a raid going. So anyway, I hope you guys all have a wonderful evening. Happy New Year as well, if you haven't already heard it enough. And with that, we will catch you later. Take care.